But, we were a little bit older. I kind of gave him the shakedown. I'm like, look, either you know you want to be with me or you don't want to be with me. But don't waste my time because I'm 40 and I don't have the time to waste. Don't just take 2-3 years to decide whether you want to marry me or not. And when you're 23, that's a little bit different. When you're 40, ain't nobody got time for that. So we got engaged that first Christmas that we were together. So the first Valentine's Day that we were together, he was working afternoon night shift, and I went to my first Weight Watchers meeting because I wanted to lose weight for the wedding. So I'm like, so this is a Valentine's Day is like when you're engaged. Awesome. So we've never really made a big deal out of it. I get him. We get each other cards. I usually get him a card from the dog. I don't remember if he gets me one or not. If you didn't get me a card from the dog, babe, don't worry about it. I know he already went and got something for, card wise. So that is one thing I will give my mother credit for is before I was married, she would always send me a Valentine's Day card from the dog. As soon as I got married, she stopped. But I thought that was very sweet that she always made sure that I got something on Valentine's Day. And when I still lived with her, she used to buy those little boxes of the sweethearts and have one for each of us kids. I think it was for each of us kids. I remember her getting me one when I was still, when I was older and still living at home. So yeah, there you go. That is how we spend. We don't really do anything. And being that it's Friday, we're still not going to do anything. Not a big deal. Sometimes we'll get each other some candy. It's not necessary. Don't get upset over it. We don't really celebrate a lot of holidays in like a big kind of way. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just cheap. Honestly, I'm just cheap. So I wanted to hear from you and whether you celebrate or not. Jim says, when I have someone to celebrate it with. So I blew him some Valentine's Day kisses. Carolyn says, this year we had to work, but only a half day. We're self-employed, so I had scheduled it off, but this was the day our customer had off. So I'll make a special dinner, and then we'll go out over the weekend. Sandra says, I'm going to buy some flowers for my 89-year-old hospice patient to give to his lovely Valentine, his wife. How sweet is that? Carol says, just like any other normal day, work, home, dinner, dishes, TV. So I gave her a big old Happy Valentine's Day gift. Sarah says, I send cards to my best girls for Galentine's Day. I love that. In fact, I always encourage people, and I try to reach out to those who I know are single, because I remember having many single Valentine's Days. And like I said, I made such a big deal out of it when I was single, thinking that it was this big, huge deal. And now I find out it really isn't. But I do try to reach out and wish some friends of mine that are single a happy Valentine's Day to let someone know that they're, let them know that someone's thinking about them. Just a nice thing to do. Michelle says, we somewhat celebrate. We'll buy cards and maybe have dinner over the weekend, but we do our best to avoid the madness. Now, that's the other thing. Like, everything is so crazy. Like, all the prices are jacked up. The prices at the restaurants are jacked up. The madness, the crowds at the restaurant, you can't even get a table most places. It's crazy. And then they, like I said, they jack up the prices. They come out with this special menu for Valentine's Day where you only have like 3 choices and they're ridiculously expensive. I don't know. Linda says it's a Hallmark day, but something special always happens. So happy Valentine's Day to all. Marcy says, I don't have a Valentine, but I always get cards and candy from my boys, even though they're teenagers. I love that. Dawn says, we're celebrating with the kids this year with a tray of sushi. Okay. All right. You do you. Lisa says, yes, it is also my wedding anniversary. So happy Valentine's Day and wedding anniversary. I buy my kids things, hopefully one day, for me. Katie says, not normally. My husband and I kind of made a deal when we were dating that neither of us are really into that romantical stuff. Lauren says, yep, tonight we're going to celebrate. Kate says, with my kids, nobody special right now, but I still celebrate. So happy Valentine's Day gift to you, Kate. It's not a big deal. You've been married before and made a big deal out of it. I'm sorry. We just don't make a big deal out of it here. There are all kinds of other things that we can do to make each other feel special. I still leave the notes for my man That is probably my go-to. I leave him a lot of notes saying sweet little things like, thank you for working so hard for us. We love you so much. Of course, I'm referring to me and Tucker when I'm writing out the notes. One of the most recent ones was, you are the love of my life. Just cute little things that make them realize I'm thinking about them and how much I appreciate them. I don't need to do that on Valentine's Day. I mean, I do. I get a card that's, kind of, most of the time it's gushy. Every once in a while I'll get a funny card. But just show your appreciation all through the year. I know, easier said than done. Just try to remember it. Put a Post-it note in front of your face. Put it on your forehead. And remember to leave your spouse a nice little note in their lunchbox, or maybe put it in their car on their dashboard, or leave it for them in the morning when they're making their coffee. It's really appreciated. I think it is anyway. On to today's blog post. You have to believe in yourself. And once you do, you can do anything. I posted a lovely picture of my breakfast from yesterday on the blog. It's an egg white omelet with some mushrooms and some cheese. Now, I've been thinking about this, kind of metaphor for a while, because I make these egg whites just about every day. And when I feel confident that I'm going to flip it just right, it usually comes out awesome. But if I have that sense of, I'm going to make a mess or whatever, I typically do. So my dad used to take me to this diner where they had an omelet station. I used to watch the guy making them. And he flipped those bad boys with such ease. He was a pro. Now, like I said, I make this egg white omelet for myself for breakfast, and I started to try to emulate what he did. At first, it was a mess. I'd try to flip it over, and bits of mushroom and egg would fly all over the place, but I kept practicing. Sometimes they still turn out horribly. Other times they look just beautiful. But here is the thing I figured out for sure. When I truly believe that I can flip that omelet flawlessly, most times I can. But for some reason, I just don't often think I can do that. But when I worry about the mess I might make it, it just doesn't go as planned. And I have to believe. I have to believe that I can flip that sucker, or it just won't work. Now, this is a metaphor for all things in life. You have to believe in your ability to do something. When you doubt yourself, it often turns out messy and not the way you hoped it would, just like the omelet. But when you just know deep down inside that what you're doing is right, it often looks near perfect. And here's the bonus. The more you do it, the even better you get. The stronger your belief becomes, and before you know it, it will be second nature. Whatever it is that you are doing. But you will suck at first. Whatever it is you want to do, if you haven't done it before, you will suck at it until you don't. That guy flipping the omelets at the diner has probably been doing it for years, so it really is second nature to him. That's how it will be for you as well. I remember when I was considering a career change, I was so afraid of having to do things I never did before. A friend of mine just kept saying, you will learn, you will learn. I have always been afraid of trying to learn new things. Now I realize it is because I hate to suck. I hate to suck at things, but we have to in order to grow. It's just a plain truth of life. I recently read a book about growth versus fixed mindset. I found I have a fixed mindset. I seem to believe I've learned all I can at this point, and I'm just not good at the rest. Yeah, that's not true. We can figure out how to do anything. We just have to commit to learning it and suffer through the being bad at it part before we start to get the hang of it. People that have a growth mindset, however, already know this. They know they will be learning new things throughout their life and actually look forward to change and new challenges. That was mind-blowing to me. I hate change. I'm starting to turn that around, though. Do you want to be a better cook? Then you have to be willing to have a few bad meals before they will start to click for you. Do you want to learn an instrument? You will sound awful at first, But if you keep at it, you will start producing beautiful notes. Do you want to start a new hobby? Great, do it. But it may be hard and not even fun at first, but you will get better at it. At some point, it will be second nature. There will come a time when it will be hard to believe that you were scared to do it at all. Just like I was mentioning on the podcast yesterday, I'm going to figure out how to use this darn Mac. It's been challenging, and now I'm going to ask for help. But I know I can do it. I'm smart. I've Googled, YouTube, other people to help me along the way. I believe it is worth it to struggle through in order to get to the good stuff, because there's good stuff inside that machine. There better be. I can't wait to unlock them all. So just commit to sucking at something until you don't. And you will get better as long as you keep doing it, and then keep doing it, and then keep doing it. You can't do something good once and expect to pick up where you left off 6 months ago. You have to keep practicing and exploring and trying new ways of doing it to figure out your niche. And then it's so worth it. So people, it is. I wish it were Cocktail Friday Thursday. I don't know. I got Southern all of a sudden. One more day to the freaking weekend. So put some thought into something you've always wanted to do, but talked yourself out of by saying simply, just not good at that. That is correct. You are not good at that yet. You can be. Get going, get moving, and make today your best day yet.
Thank you for listening to The Hopefulist, hosted by Wendy McClure. For more inspiration, please visit hopefulist.com. Thanks, and we'll see you tomorrow on The Hopefulist.
Just like my tags for Ellen at the end of every show. At first, they were so boring and droll. Ellen, have me on your show. Now I'm like, Ellen, come on. Have me on your show. I believe I will be on your show.